ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Read Bhasya Yasmad Madadinam up to Vijananta.
यस्मात् मदधीनं कर्मिणां कर्मफलं ज्ञानिनां च ज्ञानफलम् अतः भक्तियोगेन मां ये सेवन्ते ते मत्प्रसादात् ज्ञानप्राप्तिक्रमेण गुणातीताः मोक्षं गच्छन्ति। किमु वक्तव्यम् आत्मनः तत्त्वम् एवम् आत्मनः तत्त्वम् एव सम्यग् विजानन्तः इति अतः भगवान् अर्जुनेन अपृष्टमपि आत्मनः तत्त्वं विवक्षुः उवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमित्यादि।
Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. This was told by Bhagwan in the last chapter. The one who seeks me with unswerving devotion, avyabhichari bhakti, the devotion which never stops. Such a person crosses gunas and gains me. What is the reason for that? Brahmano hi pratishtha. I means what? As a Saguna Ishvara. Krishna saying as a avatar Ishvara. I am Brahmanaha pratishtha. I am the very what? Swarupa Brahma. Pratishtha I have seen in detail. So I am the very Swarupa Brahma. Me, Ishvara and Brahma, for practical purpose, no difference. Theoretically, yes. Why? Nirguna Brahma is free from Maya, I am with the Maya. For practical purpose, my Swarupa is so. Therefore, I will see to it that this person will gain knowledge and get free from gunas. So now he says, because the karmaphala of karmi, jnanaphala moksha of the jnani is madadhina, as the Ishvara says, Saguna Brahma is under me. So therefore, the one who takes to Bhakti Yoga, Avyavichari, etc., by my grace, through gaining the knowledge, becomes Gunatita, means gets the moksha. If this is so, this so means what? This Bhakta is still Ajnani. And yet, I see it that he gets the knowledge. If this is so, say, what to speak of a person, one who directly knows Atma Swarupa, one has got aparoksha jnana, aparoksha anubhuti, Brahma Sakshatkara, Atma Sakshatkara. One is directly aware of one Swarupa, free from prapancha, nishprapancha. What to speak of him, that is what? He gains moksha. I already told you, Jnani tu Atma iva me mat. Jnani is Atma Swarupa. Me only. No difference between me and the Jnani as such. You did not. So therefore, the question comes, what is this Atma Swarupa? What is this Atma Tattva? Having known which directly, one gains what? Moksha. This question arises. But Arjuna has not asked the question. But being a Jagat Guru, teacher of all teachers, Krishna knows this needs elaboration. This needs elaboration. So, unasked by Arjuna, Bhagavan wants to highlight or unfold further, not that he has not told earlier, unfold further the Atma Tattva. But the question is, to know the Atma Tattva, certain preparation of the mind is necessary. See, to join any course, is there no minimum eligibility required? Whether you can't go. And then we take to that course. What's I mean? Of learning. Like that, here the most indispensable thing that is needed to take to needed to gain Atma Jnana is the mind which enjoys Vairagya. Let us be very clear about that. Let us not feel shy about it. Let us not try to sidetrack it. Vishaya Sakti. Whether we like it or not, because see, many people get fascinated by Vedanta. Because it is so great, so fascinating, so it is. But except that Vairagya aspect. Why they should insist on that Vairagya all the time? Actually? More the merrier. Have self pleasures and also Atma Jnana. No. The main obstruction is Vishayasakti. Asakti, Preeti, love for sense pleasure. Many teachers will not tell this. Do you know why? Clientele will run away. They will not have audience afterwards. Should be modern, it should be moderness. So, Vishayasakti. Because, you have seen many times, mind which has got hankering for sense pleasures has to be extrovert. It can never hope to be introvert. Extrovert mind can never gain Atma Jnana. It can never be aware of the Swarup. And to have the Antarmukha, what is necessary is withdrawal from the Vishayas, for which that asakti, preeti needs to be knocked down. Running away from Vishayas or desisting oneself from the sense indulgence by itself will not help it. Because that rasa, love for that is there. Because you have got a concept, I will get happiness there. I will be contented by that. Automatically mind goes there. So therefore, refraining to have an initial step is necessary. What is called as dhamma, mastery over the senses. But it needs to be supported by proper vichara, proper vairagya, wherein the mind itself knows for certain that Vishayas are incapable of giving me what one wants. Vairagya becomes natural. Person becomes indifferent toward the sense pleasures. For this purpose, to highlight Vairagya, before unfolding the Atma Tattva, which is the purpose of the chapter, Bhagwan is describing the nature of samsara to inculcate on us, to see that we develop Vairagya, for which this samsara, by imagery, this samsara is compared to a tree. But what type of tree it is? Peculiar tree. Figurative, okay, not literally. Tree with the roots up and branches down. How is it all about? We'll now see in detail. Bhashyakara is going to explain that. Bhagwan is told in detail and Bhashyakara is explaining. So we have seen up to Bhakti Yogena Jnana Prapti Kramena Gunatitaha Moksham Gachanti. By Bhakti Yoga, through Jnana Prapti, one gets the moksha. Then, Kimu Vaktavyam, what to speak of? Who are they? Atmana Tattvam Eva Samyak Vijanantaha. Those who know directly Atma Swarupa. Now here, up to here we have seen last time. Now let us see further. Iti ataha. Iti ataha means Bhagavad Jnana is the direct means of moksha. Bhakti Yoga indirect. Bhakti Yoga leads to Jnana Yoga and he becomes Mukta. Like that, what you say? Through bogi, not trains. Nowadays, maybe there's some other sector. A bogie of a railway train is detached and attached to another train. So like that. So it's there. Whereas Jnani directly gets iti ataha, therefore. Bhagavan, Krishna, Arjunena aprishtam api. Arjunena na prishtam. Arjuna has not asked this question. And yet, Atmana Tattvam Vivakshuhu adds some. Being desirous of explaining the Atma Sarupa, the principle of Atma. Uvacha. Krishna now says, what is that? urdhvamulam ityadi. The verse is that urdhvamulam ityadi. Read the verse. Wait. Continue Bhasya. Tatra tavat.
तत्र तावत् वृक्षरूपककल्पनया वैराग्यहेतोः संसारस्वरूपं वर्णयति विरक्तस्य हि संसारात् भगवत्तत्त्वज्ञाने अधिकारः न अन्यस्य इति श्रीभगवानुवाच।
Tatra. Tatra means in the beginning of this chapter. Chapter is meant for unfolding Atma Tattva. And yet, in the beginning, as an introduction, or in the beginning, tatra, in the adi of adhyaya, in the adhyaya or in this chapter, tatra, tavat, means in this chapter, let us, in this chapter, tavat, to begin with, at first, vriksha rupa kalpanaya, by an imagery of a tree. What for it is brought? Vairagya hetohu. To see that the mumukshu develops staunch vairagya. To highlight the vairagya. Samsara swarupam varnayati. The actual nature of samsara, our limited existence. Varnayati, Bhagavan described. See, what are the drawbacks? What are the calamities contained in all these things? Because presently we are totally engrossed in that. The moment we find that it is not the source of what we seek, on the contrary, it breeds sorrows, we will not be interested in that. So long as we don't know, we will run after that. So therefore, better educate the mind. So that being the case, samsara. Why should you do that, Bhagavan? The reason is, because vira samsarad viraktasya. In the case of a person who has developed dispassion toward the samsara, who develops dispassion toward the samsara, Bhagavat tattva jnane adhikara. Mark this. A person who has developed vairagya for samsara, means bhogas in the jagat, vishaya bhogas. Bhagavat tattva jnane adhikara. Adhikara, qualification, eligibility to gain Bhagavat tattva jnana. If in spite of study of Bhagavad Gita, if Bhagavat tattva jnana is not there, the only diagnosis is vairagya is not there. See, in the case of these academic studies like engineering, medicine, and administration and all that, if the person is not eligible, is not admitted at all. But here it is not so. Bhagavad Gita is available to everyone. Upanishads are available, nowadays are available, even at the net it is available. Anybody can take to. So, in spite of taking to, if Bhagavad Tattva Jnana is not gained, diagnosis is not that it is wrong, you are not yet qualified. It is only to highlight the necessity of the disposition of the mind which is indispensable to gain Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. See, in academic studies, intelligence, intellect alone counts. Sharpness of intellect alone counts. And little medha shakti, memory. Here, of course, average intelligence required. Not that totally this thing, intelligence not at all required. Average intelligence required. But it is the disposition of vairagya that counts. So therefore, because viraktasya hi samsarat bhagavat tattva jnani adhikara. See, not only Bhashkar stops there. Na anyasya iti. Not of others. What others? Samsarasaktasya. The one who has got asakti, preeti in samsara. I will read something, very interesting remark of a tikakar. I don't know whose tika it is, but he said, why a person who is so interested in samsara cannot gain the atmajnana? With another person, samsari, generally a householder, need not be. He may not be single, and yet samsara will be a householder. Why he can't? He says, Grihinam. Grihinam is what? In the case of householder, because Kutumba Poshana Sakte Chetasa. Their mind is always engrossed in earning the livelihood. Being a householder, he has to earn. It is a duty to earn a decent and dignified living, and for which he has to work. And the mind is preoccupied where? In earning to run the house. Therefore, of such people whose mind is asakta, totally attached to, totally engrossed in running the house. Not only that, putradi janma maranadi prayukta sukha dukkha vikshipta chetasaha. Vikshipta chetasaha. Their mind is what? Agitated. On account of what? Putradi janma maranadi. What is this putradi janma maranadi? Putra, kalatra, children, wife, husband, etc., parents, and all those things. Those were kith and kin. Janma marana. Want a son, want a child, can't get a child. So therefore, child is born, ayo, why this stupid fellow born in my womb? Or a loving child died. Or adi, diseases and all those things. On account of these, at times joy, at times sorrow, as a result of which the mind is always in a state of flux, agitation, vikshipta chetasa. Again, kamaturana, totally riddled with desires. No end of desire at all. For such people, we ask the question, Katham Vedanta Shravanadikam Sambhave. How is it possible to such persons to take to Vedanta Shravana Adi? Shravana, Atmanat Vichara, Adi for Manana, Nididhyasana. How can they take to? Totally preoccupied in this one lesson. Then Nakatamapiti Bhava. It is impossible. That doesn't mean one has not got married. Is only because not got married, not that person should have proper vairagya. Only because sannyas is taken. No, not that. The disposal is important. It is difficult for a grahastha to take to, because there are many responsibilities are there. He has to run the house. He has to earn it. So, and children, this, that, etc. is bound to the sorrows, joys and sorrows are bound to be there. So one should what? By leisure. For that leisure, fascination for Vishaya Bhoga should not be there. That needs the education of the mind. Mind has to be convinced that Vishaya Bhogas cannot make him contented. That what they call as the quotient of contentment is not because of entertaining more desires and fulfilling more desires. It is in curtailing desires, of course, based on the sound foundation of vairagya, dispassion. No doubt in life, money is required. A decent and dignified living has to be earned by grahastha householder. Shastra says that a grahastha householder is not supposed to depend on any other person. But earning money alone cannot be the goal of life. See, as I told this many times, nowadays money is the god, Lakshmi is the god. But Lakshmi herself knew it. This story I have seen many times. Narada, no, is a all Vishwa Sanchari. So he landed where in Vaikuntha, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. And generally, you know the dialogue that between Vishnu and Narada happens. Hey, Narada, किधर किधर जाके आया? So, Bhagavan, आपके कृपा से, because of your grace, everything is fine everywhere else. Abadi, abad. All are happy. Lakshmi was sitting there. She got offended. Narada, everything is all right only because of Vishnu, not because of me. No. Narada is a fix. He can't say that. He said, Amma, you ask Vishnu only. Whether everything is all right because of Vishnu or you, I don't know. What I observed, I told. Achha. So Vishnu decided to go down. Came on earth. How? As a sannyasi. And started giving discourse. And Vishnu gives discourse in the world. Mass of people started attending his discourse and started following. Wherever he goes, they follow. After a month, Lakshmi said, let me teach a lesson now. She also descended as a sannyasini and started giving discourse. In the beginning, many didn't turn up at all. Only few used to come. But it is the custom. A sannyasi or a sannyasini depends on the minimum requirements like food, clothing, shelter on the society. Because he is not earning member, dedicating his life for the good of the humanity, for his personal sadhanas and even for personal sadhanas, the society looks after, because here is a person who is aspiring for the highest, it is our duty to take care of. The Shastra says. So therefore, as a custom, she was being, she was being as natural to any sannyasi. She was being invited for partaking the food in their house. What is called a call for a bhiksha. Lakshmi said, I will come, I won't mind coming, but I have got certain rules. What is that? I will bring my own plate and all utensils, katori, tumbler, etc. The host said, very good, because when the VIP is coming, your tension, how to set the table and all that. So half 50% job is over because she is bringing her own things. Yes, please come. And Lakshmi came. What are the thalis? Golden. Cups, golden. Tumbler, golden. Oh, the hosts were what? Very much fascinated, attracted. And the bhiksha is over. Then she said, my custom is leave this here only. I don't take it back. What? Golden plate. Still further good. My God, you are getting so much of gold. All people started flocking behind who? Lakshmi, and inviting forward. Big queue for invitation for bhiksha. News spread and reached the camp of Vishnu's pravachans. Slowly all people started coming. And there it got deserted. And when Vishnu found there are no many people, he left for Vaikuntha. Lakshmi, as a sannyasini, continued for some more time, and she also returned to Vaikuntha. Narada was there. And then Lakshmi tauntingly asked, Narada, who is superior? Narada this time said, Amma, the question is whether Vishnu is superior, you are superior. You please tell me one thing. Why are you massaging the feet of Vishnu? If you are superior, why should you massage the feet of Vishnu? Lakshmi understood, because for her Shri, wealth, he has to depend on who? Vishnu. Means the Prakriti has to depend on Purusha. Don't think this Vishnu, Lakshmi, Shiva, Parvati, Brahmaji, Saraswati are heavenly couples. They may be there, but they signify something. See, you have come across Ardhanari Nateshwara. Or modern people may think that is a biological absurdity. Half man's body, half woman's body. How is it possible? It's a symbolic presentation. Purusha, Chaitanya Tattva, Prakriti, the Maya Shakti. By the combination of these only Srishti Jagat is possible. Purusha alone cannot create. Prakriti alone, inert Prakriti cannot create. Purusha Nirupadhika cannot create. So that is the Prakriti depending on Purusha creates. See, at one place somewhere in Ramayana, I don't know which Ramayana it is. At one time, Sita is telling, I think to Hanuman or someone, Hanuman, all this Ramayana that is going on, Rama doing this, etc., this is me only who is doing. The Rama, the Purusha, Chaitanya Tattva cannot do anything at all. Means, in the presence of Purusha, Prakriti, Sita does it. Even entire enactment of Ramayana, all this from birth onwards, killing of Ravana, coronation, and all this, you know that. Enactment of who? Prakriti Tattva Sita. But in the world, it is presented Rama, Lakshmana, Rama, Sita. Sita Rama. Rama Sita, you don't say. Sita Rama. Sita Rama. So like this. So Lakshmi knew her limitations. And yet, we have not known the limitation of money, the Lakshmi. It is essential, but it is not the goal. Like that, salt is indispensable for the food, eating. But only salt you cannot eat. See, otherwise also, whenever you want to purchase something, is it not that you look for genuine thing, asli, imitative things you don't, nakli you don't take it. Like that. We want happiness. What type of happiness? Not that happiness which comes and goes and along with the lots of sorrows. No. Ever present happiness. That can be only Atma Tattva. So therefore, Bhagavan is very particular that Vairagya needs to be inculcated, and therefore, Viraktasya samsara Bhagavat Tattva Jnane Adhikaraha Nanyasya Vidanyaha Samsara Asaktasya. When there is asakti, look here. Samsara Asaktaha. When we look at asakti in samsara, asakti in what is that? Love for samsara need not be necessarily a married person. Married person is more. A married person also may be anasakta in samsara because something has happened, he has got married. But yet he may be another. There may be other person who is not married, but asakti in samsara is there. So getting married or not married is not a criterion of what? Vairagya. It is the preeti, love for Vishya Bhoga, presence or absence that makes the difference. For which lot of maturity is required. Lot of viveka is required to cut the sense pleasures to their own size. To help us do that, Bhagavan is now explaining us the nature of samsara. So therefore, iti, na anyasiti, urdhva moolam iti. This Bhagavan Bhashyakara is introducing this verse urdhva. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Read.
Shri Bhagavan Urdhva Shakham Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandansi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Vedavita.
Yam, add adhyara. Yam samsara vriksham. Urdhva moolam adhashakam avyayam ashwatham prahu. Prahu. Bhuprahu It can be Shrutayaha Veda Vidahava. Shrutayaha Veda Vidahava. Yasya Parnani Chandansi Tam Yaha Veda Saha Vedavid Ad Bhavati. Saha Vedavid. First line can be, Anvaya can be taken differently also. It can be like this. Add different adhyara. Yam samsaram. Yam samsaram to be added. Ashwatham. Urdhamulam adashakam. Urdhamulam adashakam. Avyam. Prahu. Again adhyara. Shrutayaha Veda Vidahava. Second line as it is. Yam samsara vriksham. This samsara as an imagery figuratively described as a vriksha. What type of samsara it is? The vriksha it is, samsara vriksha. Urdhvamulam adhashakam. Vriksha. See, vriksha it comes like Vrishchanat vriksha. How that word has come? Vrishchanat, that which can be cut. That which can be cut, that is called vriksha. We say tree, but derivation of the word vriksha in Sanskrit like this. That which can be cut. See, huge, say, people tree or banyan tree. Or what is that? I think America, redwood tree. Redwood tree, huge. But however big it may be, it can be cut. Maybe efforts are required. Machines are required. Big saws are required. That's also. Urdhvamulam, whose roots are above. Here above, not literally above. Above means superior, figuratively. Why superior? It will be seen with our word superior. Why superior? In terms of time, from Brahma, time has come. Again, this Brahma is the cause of time. Therefore, a cause is subtler than the effect, superior. And the cause is even before the effect, it is more permanent. From these angles, which is superior, that's called as above. Adhashakam, whose branches are below means lower, inferior in nature. That is the very origin of happiness. These are very sources of sorrow. Contrast is there. So, Urdhva Adhashakam, Avyayam, literally means indestructible. Now, here indestructible should be taken relatively. until Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana is gained, no one can escape from this samsara vriksha. From that standpoint, it is what is called as what? Indestructible. What is that tree now? Avayam Ashwatham. Ashwatha means holy fig tree. What is called? Botanically, Ficus religiosa. The botanical name. Ficus religiosa. Actually, it is people tree. You know people tree? People tree. People tree is worshipped. Even if you pour water to people tree, it gives punya. People do pradakshina of this, etc. and many things. You know why this people tree is given a holy status? There's an incident behind. Many of you who have studied Prashnopanishad are familiar with the Acharya in Prashnopanishad, Pippalada. Pippalada. That word Pippalada comes from people tree only. What happened? Pippalada was the son of Dadhichi Muni. Dadhichi is the one from whose bones Indra made the thunderbolt to kill Vratrasura. He was a great jnani and a great tapasvi also. He was married. Dadhichi was only 32 years old. One young child was there, that is Pippalada. And you know the story. He was a very charitable person. So all devatas went him in petition. This is the problem. Solution is this. Well, if these bones are useful to you, do take it by yogic method. He just leaves the body, bones were taken. Young wife, 32 years old young wife, went mad and she took sati. Along with father, she ended her life. Now this child is uncared for. Devatas went, their job was over. Nobody is taking care of the child. And it was under a pipal tree. And it was surviving on pipal fruits. One day, Narada happened to go for that. And he was surprised. Such a tender child, uncared for, etc. He came down and said, Beta, who are your parents? I don't know. I don't know. So, the Narada, by his yogic power, delved in the past. You could understand Dadhichi's son. This is what has happened. Why should it happen? Astrologically, you could find out. Dadhichi had Shani Dasha, wife had Shani Dasha, and the child also had the Shani Dasha. Astrologically. And why he was called Pippalada? One who eats pipal fruits is called Pippalada. Atiti. Pippalani attiti pippalada. Pada means one who eats. Pippalada came to know that it is Shani Dasha. When he grew, he took tapas. And by his tapas power, started scorching and burning Shani. All devatas alarmed and they came with petition. Please don't do that. He is a presiding deity. He has nothing to go, get out of that. He is only executing his duty as such. He is a karmaphala of individual people. Don't think Shani is harassing some people, etc. See, horoscope, etc. Don't think it is a cock and bull. It is some indication. What is that indication? The planetary position at the time of the birth of a child gives some indication about the prarabdha karma of this child. And from that they can predict what can happen in life, etc. And this rishis, they took to this science of what is astrology, so that wherever possible, not that totally possible, wherever possible, some remedial measures can be given. That way. It's not simply predictive, curative also. But not total cure is possible at times. But anyway, but generally what this astrologer think that no, ye graha aisa hai, wo graha aisa hai, iski shanti karo, wo karo. That is not a total truth. They only indicate that some gadbad is there. Anyway, so now all devatas started requesting, please don't do that. Then he withdrew. Then he said, you ask any boon, we will give you. He said, henceforward, Shani should not what? Torture or punish a child up to the 5 years old. Karma phalas, afterwards okay. Up to 5 years, Shani should not touch anyone. That's why they say, up to 5 years, Shani Graha is not possible. Shani Dasha is not possible. Number 2, I was nurtured by this pipal tree. So therefore, henceforward, this pipal tree should be given such a power that whoever serves, invokes it, get the good result. It was granted. That is what pipal tree. So now it is called, why it is called Ashwatha? See, in the description, Ashwatha means pipal tree. But at times, in imagery, banyan tree can fit better than the pipal tree. Though what is meant by Bhagwan is only pipal tree only. Why it is called Ashwatha? Very interesting derivation is there. Shwo shwaha api nasthata. No guarantee that it is going to be there tomorrow. You may laugh, how come? Banyan tree and pipal tree, long lasting. How do you say? Yes, they are long lasting generally. But any guarantee? A huge, strong, broken can what? Uproot a tree. No guarantee. So therefore, there is no guarantee that it is going to be there tomorrow. Avyayam prahu. Who says? Not people. Shruti says. Veda Vidaha says. We'll see where Siddhi Kathopanishad says. Those who know Vedas, they say. Other Anvaya more or less same thing. Yam samsaram ashwatham. Samsara is ashwatha, people tree, avaya, indestructible, and which is urdhva mula madashakam. Below roots, above the roots, below the branches, etc. Called ashwatha. This is what this the Shrutis and Vedas say. Vedan says. Now, yasya parnani. Whose leaves of this samsara vriksha, ashwatha samsara, chandansi. Chandansi means Vedas. See, the role of leaves in the case of a tree is to prepare the food. From the truth, what is that? Root, water, etc. goes up. But in the tree, in the presence of the sunlight, what is the photosynthesis, something goes on there. And it goes to all the portion of the tree. Very important. Means the trees nurture and nourish. Of course, root is there. Otherwise, secondarily, trees nurture and nourish the tree. No, not leaves. Leaves nurture and nourish the tree like that. Karmakanda of Vedas with upasanas. It nourishes the samsara vriksha in terms of papa and punya. It keeps it going on. Parnani. Now, tam samsara vriksham. Yaha Veda. One who knows, but be careful here, not simply samsara vriksha. With urdhva samula, along with the root. And what is that root? Above Brahma, Satya, whereas the tree is Jagat, Mithya. That is knowing. Other mere knowing samskara, what is that? Mere knowing samsara is next to impossible. That's why what science has no end. More you discover, more avenues, areas of ignorance you can find. Another thing, there is no limitation of the cosmos. Brahmandas after Brahmandas are there. Like Renavaha, elsewhere in some other, like a dust particles, innumerable Brahmandas are there. How much you can know? That way. So therefore it says, here, mere knowing the samsara is of no use. No, in the sense, it cannot give the highest purushartha. Moksha it cannot give. Dharmartha, kama, moksha. It may help in the place of what? Artha and kama. That's why to a limited extent. But moksha it cannot give. Therefore, one who knows samsara vriksha along with the mula Brahma, Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, Savedavit Bhavati. He is the person who knows the crux of Vedas, the purport of Vedas, Tatparya of Vedas, sum and substance of Vedas, the radical teaching of Vedas. Because Vedas speaks of innumerable things. But its final teaching is ascertaining the truth of the Jagat, which is your real nature, which is the real nature of Ishvara, one and the same. Satchidananda Satya Brahma. Sat means Satya. So that is it. We'll see the Bhasya. Om.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो